This video will introduce the RISC-V jump and branch instructions and how they can be used to implement keywords from higher level languages like if and else. We will also cover the branch pseudo instructions. In the programs that we have executed so far, the CPU began at the top and executed one instruction after another until it reached the e-break instruction at the end. However, sometimes it's useful to be able to jump over a block of instructions, and we can do that with the jump instruction. To create a jump instruction, we're just going to write the letter J and then write the name of the label that we'd want to jump to. In order to jump to this label called end, we need to define the label, and we can do it by just writing the name of the label followed by a colon. When we build this program, we can now see that we have the jump instruction here. If we step one instruction at a time, you can see that once we get to this jump instruction, if we step one more time, the program counter is going to jump to the end label, which is where we have our e-break instruction, which is the first instruction following the label. You'll also note that inside the instruction, it says 20 right here, and this indicates that the program counter is going to be increased by 20 when this instruction executes. Since there are 4 bytes in every instruction, this means that this jump will jump forward by 5 instructions, which takes us from here down to the e-break. The reason we see a difference between a 20 being written here and the end being written in the code that we write is because the machine instruction itself does not encode the name of the label that's being jumped to. It only encodes what the offset is of how far the program counter needs to change in order to reach its desired destination. So if we look inside of the instruction encoding here, we can see that we have the number 20 here stored for the immediate. One thing to note about the jump instruction is that it's actually a pseudo instruction for the jump and link instruction, which we will talk about in a later video. You will also notice in this diagram that we have this big mess of lines connecting the bits down here to the bits up here. This is showing us that all the bits that represent the immediate value that's used by this instruction, rather than being stored in order of their place value, they get stored in a different order. This is done for hardware reasons that are not of concern to us if we're just writing assembly programs. It is also possible for us to write jump instructions that jump backwards. So let's make another jump instruction down here, which is going to jump to a label called middle, and we'll put that label here. When we run this program, we can see that the first 3 instructions execute just like they did before, but now the end label here is referring to this jump instruction right here, which has this -20, which will cause it to go backwards by 5 instructions. So that brings us up to the add, and then we can run through the arithmetic instructions like we did before. The jump instruction that we just discussed is an example of an unconditional jump, which means the CPU will always jump to the target location no matter what when that instruction executes. There's another category of jumps called conditional jumps, or branch instructions, which will only jump if some condition is true. For example, the branch EQ instruction will only branch if 2 registers have an equal value to each other. Here we can write the branch EQ instruction to compare the 0 register with the A1 register, and if they are equal, we want to jump to the end label. So what this is going to do is this instruction will check to see if 0 and A1 have the same value, or in other words, it's going to check to see if A1 contains a 0, and if so, it's going to jump over this divide instruction. If we run our program, we can see when we come down here to the branch EQ section, currently we have a 6 in the A1 register, and that's not equal to 0, and so we're not going to jump, and we will execute the divide instruction. If we change our program so that we have a 0 in the A1 register instead, when we run this program and come down to the branch EQ instruction, when this executes, 0 and A1 now contain an equal value, which means we are going to take the branch, and we pop right over the divide instruction down to this e-break. It is also possible for us to jump over larger blocks of code with branch instructions. Here, we have a condition that we're checking, and then on the basis of this condition, we can decide whether or not we are going to execute these 3 division instructions. Conditional branches allow us to implement the equivalent of an if statement when we're working in assembly. We can implement the equivalent of an if-else statement using a combination of a conditional jump and a regular jump. Here, we have 3 numbers that we are potentially going to be dividing by 0. First, we're going to do our check to see if A3 is 0 or not. If it is 0, we're going to jump down here to the is0 label, where we can execute these 3 instructions, which will set our T registers to -1. If A3 is not 0, then this instruction will not jump when it executes, and therefore we will run these 3 division instructions, and eventually we will jump here at end in order to hop over the instructions right here down to the end where we have our E break. This is a common pattern that you will see in assembly programming whenever you need to implement the equivalent of an if-else statement from a higher level language. In addition to the 4 branch instructions, there are 10 branch pseudo instructions. Here we have them listed in this table, and you can see that each branch pseudo instruction requires 1 or 2 registers as operands, plus the label of the destination that the branch should jump to. The pseudo instructions provide all the common variants for comparing with the different comparison operators, both with signed and unsigned integers. Some of the pseudo instructions also do comparisons with 0 and don't require you to explicitly state that you're working with the 0 register in that case. If you would like to gain more hands-on experience with the jump and branch instructions, you can check out the Jump and Branch Instructions unit at visualemulator.com. I'll see you in the next video.